exactly a copy constructor is. So watching on the left side, we have the word called constructor. We have static constructor. We have the copy constructor, shallow copy and deep copy. And we have the private constructor. Look at the types of constructor. So when we write a class SCL, it's just a type. SCL is not basically a name of the class. It's just a logical type. And ID is basically a stance variable of a class. And there are several ways we can initialize the stance variable. I can initialize by the constructor. I can initialize by the properties. I can initialize by the member function. And I can initialize by object dot. But object dot is not good because you are breaking the encapsulation. Within the same class, we can go for object dot, but outside of the class, object dot is not possible because you have made the variable as a private. And when you mistakenly make a variable as a public, you're losing the data hiding. There is no encapsulation. Encapsulation or information hiding or data hiding is similar. So what is encapsulation? What is abstraction? Sandeep, what is encapsulation? I said, I want to make a one web page in MVC or in Java JSP. So what is the requirement of making a web page? The requirement is you make a web page, provide number of controls, and if I click on a submit button, record should be saved in a backend. So requirement gathering, I just taken the requirement and I come back to my desk and I have to achieve the encapsulation abstraction. So I do make a separate class as a layer because we know we can write entire code in a presentation layer. It's not a good habit. Go for layer. I have made separate layer is called employee class. And within an employee class, I have taken the multiple properties. Then I have taken the data access layer. So I have taken multiple function within the data access layer. So presentation layer communicate to business logic layer. A business logic layer communicate to data access layer. And question is an interview, what is encapsulation and what is abstraction? Don't try to give any definition what you know about encapsulation, because requirement gathering and how you proceed for your walk, that gives me definition. Oh, it's a really encapsulation or a really abstraction. But as such, there is no definition at all in my definition, in my grammar, in my dictionary. Okay. So I got a requirement, what I have to do. I just come to my desk. I made one ASPX page or MVC view, doesn't matter. I've just taken the user interface. I've taken the model, which can define a number of properties because, so I do take a data from presentation layer and give it to this object, right? Then we can go for one more class, is called employee del. I'm making one function there, connect, right? And question is in interview, what is encapsulation and what is abstraction? And question is to person, very senior person. Question is to Tyagi sir, very senior person. Question is to Amar Gupta, is very senior person. These kind of person, if someone asks an interview, so the answer of these kind of question for that great persons will have different kind of perception. Okay, sure. So now, so what in data access layer, I have taken the function called connect. Second function, I have taken the whether record is duplicate or not, because he has to go for saving a record. So if he has taken the duplicate record he's entering, I should get a runtime exception. You can then go for try throw cat because you have made a key as a primary key, ID as a primary key is a presentation layer, right? The second function called detect whether record is duplicate or not. Third function is called save, S-A-V-E, save. And this function takes parameter of your model class, right? And you are taking the data from presentation layer to give the model object. So at last, finally, object is having a data. I'm assigning the data to this object by properties. And then we can pass this object to other layer. That's why properties are meant for maintaining a state from one layer to other layer. Okay. So what is properties? If there is no properties, you can't maintain the state of an object moving from one layer to other layer. So I'm taking the data from one layer, giving to business logic layer, and business logic layer is passing this object to your data access layer as a function argument. So properties can be serialized. Oh yes, but function cannot be serialized. Okay. Properties can be serialized. Function can't be serialized. Properties are basically meant for evaluating the characteristics of any object. I'm applying for JSS college as a visiting faculty. What they will do, they will give me some business criteria, business rules, blah, 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 blah. If you have this, you can apply for the faculty for as a visiting faculty. So they do text my data first, they checks my data. Once it is applicable for taking the class, they can call tomorrow for taking the batch, right? So properties are meant for evaluating the आवाज आ रही है मेरी? Object. Fine. So now come back. Okay. So properties. And if there is no properties, Sandeep, then there is no business logic layer. I don't think so. JSS has a reputed college in Noida, they can call me for taking providing the classes directly if they don't check my credentials first. So I give my object and to my business logic layer, and business logic layer validate my data. Then he gives my data to data access layer. So first point is properties can be serialized. Properties can be inherited. Okay. Properties can be abstract. Properties can be virtual. Okay. Good. This is the now finally. So in data access layer, then we can go for calling of functions. So first we validate a structure by properties, then we can go for calling a function. So properties and function both are similar, but both are basically achieving encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? We can achieve encapsulation by making a properties or making a functions. Sandeep, can you elaborate what you want to say? I said it's a presentation layer, business logic layer, and data access layer. Okay, I will come to this topic. Just give me 5 minutes of time. No problem. So now I'm passing my object name as a function parameter. I said to business logic layer, instantiate my class and call the function. He is creating an object because presentation layer will not go for calling the data access layer function directly. So presentation layer communicate to BAL, BAL communicate to DAL. So what BAL does, he creates an object of my class and getting 3 functions. Sarji, I'm getting 3 functions. What are those functions? So function is called validate. Second is called record is duplicate or not. What is validate? Connection is validate or not. Second, record is duplicate or not. Third is your save. Third is your save. I think Sandeep Karan, you are increasing the complexities, because if I don't communicate to you, how do I know what this function stands for? This function stands for, or I know what is save. That's basically my concern. I want to save a record. We're increasing the complexities because I have just told you, you give me one save button. If I click on a button save, the function should be saved. Why you are exposing these 2 functions? Why? Why you're exposing these two functions to me or for me? What is encapsulation? Encapsulation. What is your requirement? The requirement is save a record. Hide the non-essential for the essentiality. Can I repeat again? Hide the non-essential for the essential. At this time, these two function for me really as a non-essential. It's for you as essential, not for me. I have to take your batch is essentiality. I'm having a headache, doesn't mean for you, so take my batch. Worst I can suspend, but you take my batch, sir. So now these two functions should not expose from data access layer to your business logic layer. So now what is encapsulation? Hide the non-essentiality for the essentiality. And essentiality is, I want to save a record. And these two functions can give me, some confusion. Shall I call first this? Can I call you, sir? So can you tell me, shall I click on first or shall I click on second? And I can go for third. Then you go for first, and you can go for second. That's a tight coupling. Means without communicating to you, I can't take any further step. So please, sir, don't give me these two functions. So now make these two functions as a private in your class. Okay. So if I go for creating an object of your class, wonderful. I'm only getting one function called save. That's my concern only. So hide the non-concern for the concern. It's for you as a concern, for me as a non-concern. Okay. So these two functions should not expose as a public for business logic layer. True. Do you know execute non-query? How execute non-query can go for saving a record into backend? Tell me. Network establish, parity check, bytes, packet. Then you can go for execute non-query. Does execute non-query expose everything to you? No. You only expose SQL command, space CMD new SQL command, cmd.execute non-query. You can get saving a record. How record has been saved? They expose you? No. Then. So if I go for creating an instance of data access layer, I should get the only function called save. I should not get unwanted function for this essentiality. Yes. So please, I'm requesting to you, don't confuse me. Give me proper steps for following the walk. So now make these two functions as a private. Thank you. If I go for creating an instance of your class, then I'm getting only single function called save. True. I don't want to call you. I'm getting my concern. Yes. So if there is an encapsulation, there will be abstraction. Oh, good. And Sandeep said, how we can call these two functions? It's your headache, darling. You do so. Do you decide how you will be? What you will do? I don't know. So now, whenever user business logic layer is instantiating the data access layer class object dot and save function, within a save function, you call these two functions. It's called wrapper. So now you make a function public, save as a public, and make these two functions as a private, and call these two functions from the save function. Then business logic layer class is really feels comfort because he is creating an object of your class is getting only the concerned function, not a non-concerned function. It's really important for database to be checked. Then record is duplicate or not. Then we can go for, sir, don't give your all the logic at the user level. I know I got your point. Understand better. These two functions should mark as a private in my class, and I can call these two functions from my public save function, and I'm only exposing the save function to user. Right. So hiding the non-essentiality for the essentiality is encapsulation. And what is left? Only left your operational part. Only left operational part. What is operational part? Save is the operational part. Yes, I got the point. Come back. So what exactly, Sandeep, a copy constructor is? So now the copy constructor is, if I go for creating an instance of this class SCL space obj is equal to new SCL, right? So in background, memory is allocated and the variable. Okay, Sandeep sir, can you tell me what are the prerequisites for copy constructor? Gentleman, you can't achieve copy constructor without stance variable. Okay, okay. This is the cause you started with a stance variable. Yes, you never know who Sandeep Karan. You never know. Okay. And if I'm having the static variable, sorry, you can't achieve the copy constructor or shallow copy. You can't achieve the copy constructor or shallow copy, whatever, by the static variable because object dot static variable is not visible. Okay, okay. So prerequisite is for copy constructor is you should have the stance variable. True, 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 true. Now, so I do provide in this class the parameterized constructor, right? I'm passing some value there, some parameter there. I'm assigning some data to this parameter. And finally, this constructor is assigning a data from local variable to a stance variable. So finally, ID is here right now, 101, something like. Fine. So now I do write SCL space, SCL space obj1 is equal to new SCL, SCL, right? And I'm providing the default constructor. Yes, you have to provide. If any class is having a parameterized constructor, then programmer has to supply default constructor. Really? Go and try. So now, obj1 is equal to obj. My God. You are giving your address to this object. And what is copy constructor, Sandeep? Copy constructor means assign the data from one object to other object. And you're assigning now obj1 will have own memory address for this class SCL, SCL. And you and this pointer is having the memory address for this. So 102 for obj1 and 101 is for obj, and obj2 this one. So when you write obj1 equal to obj, you're assigning the 101 to 10 in obj2. Oh my God. It means obj, yes, obj1 is losing his own address. So obj1 is losing his own address called 102. Now obj1 is pointing the address of obj. It means obj1 become the obj. And obj1 and obj both are pointing same memory location called 101. And what about 102? Overwrite. Overwrite is not a copy constructor, not a shallow copy, not a deep copy. It's just alias. ALIAS. Oh. Got it. So, what do you want? What do you want? I want a shallow copy. It's called copy constructor. Now, so overall, what is shallow copy? You provide the value of the variable of an object to other object. Okay. So how we can achieve, Sandeep sir? You write a class, SCL, right? So when you make a class SCL, compiler will embed the base class for this class is object. Okay. And you will have one function there, member-wise clone. Member-wise clone. So by this function, you can copying the data for one object to other object as, okay, okay. Got it. So you can achieve shallow copy by member-wise clone. Second, this class is implementing the interface is called iClonable. Not implementing, we have to implement my class from iClonable interface. I can go for clone function. Okay. 2. Difference, just wait. And third, I can go for copy constructor. Okay. So copy constructor is a technique to achieve a shallow copy. Yes. Okay. But if you go for copy constructor, it's a traditional approach for achieving. Otherwise, you're getting a by default a function of base class is called member-wise clone. Enjoy with this function because derived class can call the base class function. So Sandeep sir, what are the prerequisites for copy constructor? You should have the instance variable, right? Instance variable. If there is no instance variable, what you will do copy? What copy will you do? Because object dot and obj 1 equal to obj, never say to anyone, it is a kind of any kind of cloning. It's nothing, it's not basically cloning, just assigning the address of existing object to newly object. And what about newly object? Lost his address. So both are basically pointing to same memory location. Oh my God. So you mean to say shallow copy we can achieve by 3 ways? Yes. Can you give me code? Why? Why I give you code? My concept is enough for you. Sorry, sir. So now, member-wise clone is a function of object class. Second, clone is a function of iClonable interface. You do both, or you can go copy constructor technique for achieving a shallow copy. Okay. Sandeep sir, what is deep copy? Please, sir, please, I'm telling you. Just tell me, what is deep copy? Okay. You give me only situation. I'm a person, I'm a Prakash, I'm a Ashish. I can find a code from the net. I know. But you give me only concept. If topic is really beyond the control, beyond the, I can ask you, give me code. But initially, you give me concepts first. I understand. So now, what is deep copy? Class, go for better example. Class person. Now, what person can have? The first name. What person can have? The last name and the qualification. Right? And all are instance variable. Keep in mind. Now, see if I say person, listen. If I say person space P is equal to new person, I should provide the parameterized constructor to this class, then we can pass data. So I'm passing the data as a parameterized is called person as a first name. Last name Kumar, age 31. Take an example. It means we have one more variable, qualification as a BTech now. So, and you make one more object, a person, space Prakash is equal to new person. Okay. Why do we need a copy constructor? So now Prakash is calling the default constructor of this class. He's not basically calling the parameterized constructor. So I'm providing a default constructor. I mean, he's not basically passing any parameter for these three variables. So Prakash, I mean, P is an object pointing to certain location. In that location, we have 3 variables, but no data is there. This is the cause I want cloning, na? So Prakash is requesting to person, please give me data from your object. Okay. He writes P1 is equal to P, everything is gone, lost. So person cannot do this kind of work as a negative. He will be assigning the address to P1. Sorry. So what person does, he writes P1. P1 is an object of person class as a Prakash. And P as object of person is person. What he does, he writes P dot member-wise clone. Okay, something like B dot member wise clone, something like, and he's assigning the not address, he's assigning, he's assigning the data from one object to other object. Okay, I got your point. And Sandeep, if I go for copy constructor, what is copy constructor? You make a constructor and pass as a parameter the same name of the class. Okay, passing the same name of the class to the constructor is called copy constructor. Okay. Then we can go for beat wise, called member wise copy. Okay. So say to person class, make constructor, and by the constructor, pass a parameter as a same name of the class, and then you can go for, sir, write a syntax, please. I said, no, for syntax, refer YouTube, any faculty, or any other websites. I'm here to build your concepts. Okay, sorry, sir. Person space P2 is equal to new person and pass P1. Oh yes, I'm passing the parameter to person class as a constructor parameter P1. And what is P1? P1 is an object of person class. So I should have the constructor within the person class, and that constructor should take parameter as a person type. Then we can pass P1. Okay, this is called copy constructor. Oh. So P1 as a object, I'm passing the constructor as a parameter to P2. So in this case, P1 will assign the data to P2 rather than P1 will not assign the address to P2. So if I go this way, it's a copy constructor. Or otherwise, you can go for calling the object.memberWise clone, or you can implement your class from iClonable. So I got the point perfectly well. I'm just asking you, what is deep copy? So please. Okay, no problem. Now, there is a class called person. Listen again. Why? What is deep copy? There is a class called person. And there is a class called, by God, debit card. Debit card. One more class is there, class credit card. Oh my God. So why your intention? Just wait here, come on. And this person class is having two instance variable. One is called first name, second called last name, third is called age. Third is called age. But same point of time, this class person is having two variable of object type. I mean class type. I didn't get. Class person is having two object of debit card type and credit card type. So you can write down perfectly well. Debit, D. And one more. So please, I'm requesting you write down in better format. Okay, I'm having some doubt regarding the deep copy. Okay, sorry. No. Yes, sir, write down. Debit, space D. Credit, space C. Now, go for cloning. Go for clone. Whether by parameterized, by the copy constructor, or by the member-wise clone, or by the iClonable interface. Go for clone. By God, these three variables gives me clone as a member by, as a call by value. But these two objects, by God, these two objects gives me call by reference. It means person is giving a data to Prakash. Don't mind anyone, please. Person is giving, don't mind. Person is giving a data to Prakash. Person was good for giving his first name as a value. Last name, correct, is. By God, person has given the debit card reference to Prakash.